What's going on, everybody? It's the Reformation Keegan here with another video. Today, we're doing another episode of mental health analysis, and we're still looking at and analyzing mental health through Edward Said's Out of Place. So we're going to look at various quotes over these episodes and dissect them in many different ways. So, like I said, we're going to continue with Said's Out of Place today, and I've been really happy with the turnout for the first 3 episodes. So now we're going to do episode 4 right now, and I want to discuss these various quotes, not just through Said's own experiences, but through a mental health lens. And if we look at his quotes through a mental health lens, there's a new sense of relatability that we can discover, not just with the text, but with our own personal experiences as well. So I'm going to read a quote to you right now, and I would like to analyze it a little bit. For most of my life, I have, in an ambivalent way, cherished and disparaged this core of icy detachment that has seemed impervious to the tribulations of loss, sadness, instability, or failure I have lived through. So just even in this sentence, there's quite a lot to unpack. So he starts the sentence by discussing how these constituents have affected a majority of his life. So he says, in an ambivalent way, have cherished and disparaged this core of icy detachment. So icy detachment, that's usually a way to discuss something without a lot of emotion. So when we think of the term cold, we think of expressionless or emotionless tendencies. And with Said, throughout his own personal experiences as an unfortunate colonized subject, he has been able to suppress his emotional range in a way that almost a lot of people who have not been colonized in today's day and age cannot fathom. And with icy detachment, it shows how there's a paradox here. And that paradox is detachment means you need to have emotion, but also the term icy means that there's no emotion that can be identified or indicated. And detachment is something that I think is more present than ever in today's world, because for a lot of individuals, they don't know what to believe or what they're supposed to believe. And there's a big difference there, because for younger individuals, they're oftentimes told what to believe. And when they're told what to believe, they have 2 choices. They can either adopt the belief system of the individual that's telling them what to believe, or they can rebel against it. And detachment is a main factor in someone's belief system due to their own personal experiences. And how does that affect their mental health? It affects their mental health in a lot of ways, because when you are only taught one systemic belief and you're under that dogmatic system, you end up not having the resources capable to understand an opposing view. And when that happens, your mind detaches, and it detaches in a way where you cannot adopt those socioeconomic traits that would make an individual's mind more well-rounded. And it's because of one or more instances in someone's younger life where they have been not just colonized in Said's point of view, but have been suppressed physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. So I think this is what he means through this quote. It's not just from his personal experience, but we're looking at this from a more contemporary standpoint too. And the one thing that is really interesting is detachment is attached, which is, again, paradoxical, to tribulations of loss, sadness, instability, and failure that the subject has lived through. And detachment mixed with tribulations often creates a story that we see in sports or in academics or in political aspects as well. Because with tribulations come detachment. So for example, if somebody is wrestling or somebody's in a sport and those tribulations equal failure, the individual is either going to become detached in a way where they can have a fortitude to move forward and help ease that tension, or they become so detached they become, again, attached in a manner of coldness, and their emotions almost become vacant, meaning that they lose all aptitude for what they want to do going forward. So I find that really interesting that Said would use this kind of observation to even describe himself, because there's a lot of emotional weight involved here. And I find it, again, very, very intriguing that he uses loss, sadness, instability, and failure, because when an individual does not have security or stability in their own lives, detachment will come, because human beings throughout history need certitude. We need to know things. We need to know how things happen. We need to know the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And if we don't know any of the who, what, when, where, when, why, and how, then that becomes a major obstacle mentally and emotionally for us. And in the mental health world, that is very, very prominent, because if we do not have our own security, we become sometimes erratic, or we become frustrated. And that frustration leads to detachment from things that we love, things that we like, things that we're passionate about, and things that we want to accomplish. So let me know what you think. I tried to keep this video a bit shorter. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're enjoying this, please let me know. If there's any other quotes you want me to dissect, again, let me know, and I would love to continue these videos. The goal is to do them every week, and hopefully the viewership and the reception is there. So thank you very much. Have a great day.